It's time to talk New York Jets. The latest Madden game is coming out. There's a lot to get into with a special guest. Let's freaking roll, baby! Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rodgers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Hey everybody, my name is Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/BoyGreen25. Make sure you guys like the video. Hit subscribe. It's time to talk some New York Jets, some Madden, everything I love so dearly. And for the very first time, we've known of this person as I'm about to introduce her on the show. Like, there's some street cred on Erika joining us here on the show. But for the first time, gracing us with her presence on the video platform. We've been twittering with one another for a while, or Xing. I don't even know what the hell that's called now. But either way, let's bring her on the show. It's gosh darn Erika, Madden, Jets, baby. Yes, what's poppin'?
That was an intro, and that was fantastic. You certainly live up to the hype for the goated intros. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you
for having me on. This is great.
Well, this is amazing, Erika. Again, we've known each other in the Twitter sphere circles with all the spaces and all that other jazz. So it's great to finally virtually kind of meet one another. We talked about a pregame here, but oh my God, that studio behind you, the Jets helmets, the love, and some stuff people can't even see off camera. I mean, if you could just be there, you would understand. I mean, you got some room going on there, Erika. You got some room.
Thank you. It's actually my laundry room, which I did disclose to you earlier.
Impressive.
But I knew I was coming onto your show, and I wanted a Supreme Jets background. So this was it right here. And if you think I'm lying about it being my laundry room, I'm not kidding.
That is.
No free ads.
Yeah. No free ads on this show. We'll blur that out. The people off camera, in post, remove that. Excellent. We'll make sure we get to that. Erika, the thing I'm curious about, I don't think I've heard, like we all hear about your favorite superhero movies, your origin story. I know you're a Jets lady in the Jets universe, but how the hell did that happen? I am, fantastically curious about this. What is your Jets origin story?
My Jets origin story. So I was born and I would say raised for a good portion of my life in Fort Lee, New Jersey.
Yeah.
So from Bergen County, grew up going to the games. My dad is a huge Jets fan, so he passed his fandom on to me. I used to say unfortunately, but now I don't say that anymore because I feel like good times are ahead finally, right?
Yes.
But and that's it. And I feel like no one ever actually chooses the Jets, right? No one chooses them, right? It's almost like
they choose you. Yeah.
They choose you. We inherit it, right? And that's exactly what happened to me. And the same thing with my kids and everything. Yes, they inherited that. And I'm sure the same for yours as well, right? So it was an inherited fandom. Grew up going to the games and moved down to South Florida when I was in middle school. Continued being a fan, even though was in the middle of Dolphins country. But there's if you've ever been to a Jets Dolphins game down in South Florida, you would know that there is a really good mix of Jets fans in that. So it wasn't as exact. It was enemy territory, but it was still plenty of Jets fans around. And then went up to UCF for college and stuck around here in this Central Florida area. And still huge Jets fan and massively excited about for the season. So
As you should be. I just got to say, I'm glad that you brought that up about the kids, Jet fans. Again, to me, that's non-negotiable. Like my fiance has been like, we'll kind of talk to her about it. There's no talking about it. You are a Jets fan, and you just have to accept it and then cry to your therapist about it, perhaps in 30 years. That's what you do. There is no choice. You are a Jets fan, or that's it. There's just no other choice. So I'm glad that we established that right from the get-go.
100%. And I think the first complete sentence that my 2-year-old Jimmy said was JETS, 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 Jets. So
did it right.
There you have it. There you have it. That was
Parenting's over. Congratulations. You passed. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. There you are. That's beautiful. And again, Erika, everyone can follow you at that very handle below your beautiful mug there. If people would like to hit you up on the old social spheres, feel free to do so. And Erika, on top of your Jets love, which we're going to circle back into in a second, we see it above, floating above our heads here, is that Madden. Madden's coming out this week. We're recording this show here. It's beautiful. And you have a connection to the Madden franchise that you've been working with for many, many years now. Tell us, what is your role at Madden? I've had a great relationship myself with the Madden people. Most recently, obviously, Charles Davis, Brandon Godden, and the whole Madden team. They're phenomenal, but I've never gotten a chance to cross paths with you, especially doing these interviews. So, Erika, what's your role at Madden?
So I'm a producer at EA, at Electronic Arts, and I work in our capture division. And what we do is we mainly deal with scanning players, player likeness, player authenticity. So that's what we mainly deal with. I work with all EA titles, Madden being one of them. Before I jumped on at Capture, I did work on the Madden game team, but I am a producer over there at EA, and it's great. Working at EA Sports is awesome. Being able to work on all of those games that you grew up playing is just so cool. And just as we had talked about, right? Like I've been at EA since 2015, and ever since as long as I've worked there, no Jets player has really ever been like highlighted with Madden, right? Like ever.
Yeah.
And this is the first year that it's happened. And I know he's not on the cover, but with the promotional videos with Sauce Gardner, seeing him on there was just so cool. And that just tells you that like there's definitely more to come with his star power. So it's awesome. But yeah, working there is great. Love just being so connected to the game in that way, and having those type of access and opportunities. It's really awesome.
Erika, did you try to put in a good word? You said Sauce did not make it. Unfortunately, that Josh Allen Buffalo Bills guy did. But did you try to say, hey, guys, I know you're setting up this Josh Allen thing, but Sauce, did you try to sneak that in when you could?
Well, I'll say this much. And how about this? I'll ask you this. Do you believe in the Madden curse?
Do I believe in the Madden curse? I absolutely believe in the Madden curse. How could you not? So,
do you want Sauce on the cover?
Absolutely not. I do not.
In the Madden curse? Do you want that?
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. Oh, so that's it. You've been feeding on purpose. You fed the Josh Allen thing. Like, yeah, let's get him in there. Yeah, and then voodoo doll, stick. Oh, Erika.
Not good at winking, but
yeah, I could see that.
That's a wink right there.
That's very nice.
I'm not going to comment on that, Paul. I'm not going to comment on that.
Fair enough.
Not going to comment on that. I will wink. I'll wink. And no, it's great. I think that Josh is a great choice for the Madden cover. And I think he's, all hatred for the Bills aside, I do think he's an exciting player. And it's cool to see another up and coming player like that, especially like, as a Jets fan, it was exhausting to see Tom Brady, right? It was exhausting. And, it's cool to see just like new up and coming players coming about. The AFC East is super strong this year. I think that just adds to the legitimacy of the Jets, right? When we beat up on the Bills in week 1, right? When that happens, it's going to be even more sweeter, right? Because we know how good of a team they are. We know how great of a quarterback Josh Allen is. It's all respect to them. It's just really like when we beat up on them, it'll be that much better. So
I can't wait for that. Let's go back to the sauce. You mentioned it. It's been a long ass time in blunt terms about Jets being involved in Madden and really all the extra aspects, fantasy football and things of that nature. Like they haven't been involved in any of that jazz, but now Sauce on the scene, immediately superstardom, the first team All Pro, defensive rookie of the year, and all that jazz. How was it like working with him? Because sometimes I imagine if you have a guy that's kind of walking through the building who's this sauce guy, like what kind of thing you're going to be anticipating when you're walking into someone like that as you're doing Madden promotional things. How was he?
Yeah, so I didn't work with him directly for this Madden promotion for this promotional cycle, but I did work with him when we initially scanned him at the NFL Combine.
Oh yeah,
and he just exuded that type of star energy, right? You know, he had his big sauce chain and he was like talking about it, but he was also like really humble at the same time. And just like, you know, he's our guy. We know how he is. And I just got great vibes from him from the jump. I loved, you know, working with him, talking to him. I mean, like just he was awesome. Like we had scanned him and then we did a couple of like just kind of media spots, like quick interviews and that sort of stuff, like videos, you know, like just random type media things. And he was great to work with. Just a cool dude. Good vibes from him. Did really well at the Combine. Interviewed really well. Teams really liked him, and I think that he had a strong showing there, and that helped him out a lot. But his professionalism was through the roof, and I really liked that about him. And we saw that, I think, in the first episode of Hard Knocks too. Just like you know, when he was even like going back for graduation and just like the way, like just through the ceremony, he was just so just like mature, like, because we forget, like, this is still a kid, even though he's an adult. Like, this is a kid. This is a college kid that, you know, and he just is so mature beyond his years. So he is, I have a feeling, going to be, I don't want to crown him and like put him in Canton, but like, I think we all have that vibe that he's going to get there. And even Aaron Rodgers himself said it, right? You know, like true. When you know, and I think we kind of all know with Sauce. Like you just, when I met him, it was just like, oh yeah, he's got it. He's got like that it factor, right? Like a couple guys that I met that I was like, oh yeah, he has it. And
yeah, it's wild. It's an interesting dichotomy of what you observed and what my sense is as well. Again, I've only ran into him less than you have for setting that up. But like on one hand, you see Sauce and you hear Sauce, like the legend of Sauce. You're like, oh man, this must be the most arrogant, confident son of a gun walking in the room. But you balance the Sauce thing, and then you talk to him and you hear from him in Hard Knocks, One Jet Drive, and all these things. It's whoa, he's this super humble guy, but with the confidence mixed in at the same time. But like he always wants to strive to be better. Like it'd be very easy, I would have imagined, for Sauce after that first year, say, I'm all that in a bag of potato chips. But he was just saying, I've got more to work with, like guys like Tony Oda and stuff. So man, it's a crazy dichotomy. It makes you think that he just has this desire to be great, which ultimately, again, could land up in Canton, as Rodgers said.
Yeah, and you could just tell, like, just the way he carries himself. He's so humble about it all. I mean, when Aaron Rodgers complimented him and said he would be, you know, in Canton one day, and he's like, "Oh, that's the goal," you know, like it was. He wasn't all like, "Yeah, man," like, you know, it was just genuine. I don't know. Yeah, it was just genuine, and like my kids have his jersey for a reason. That's all I'm gonna say. That, you know what I mean? Like you like, as a parent, not to be all like soapboxy, but you want to get like, you want to buy a jersey for your kid that is like also someone who's a good example. And I think Sauce is that person. I think that he's going to be a leader on the Jets for a long time too.
We can only hope. Again, we're talking New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers, Super Bowl, Madden, and everything with the wonderful, amazing, super talented Erika here on the program. She's one of the best in the gosh darn business, both with her ties to EA Sports and, of course, her New York Jets fandom. Erika, I don't know if I've seen the footage. I've been trying to do some research ahead of this conversation. So luckily for me, there was a camera on me when the Aaron Rodgers thing happened live, and then it goes crazy. What was the reaction of Erika? Is there footage out there at some, the back of a pawn shop or something? I can find this footage of Erika's reaction to the Aaron Rodgers thing. Does that exist?
No, I don't have any footage or anything like that, but I was jumping for joy. That's for sure. I mean, I remember, well, I remember exactly where I was when I was
Okay.
watching that Pat McAfee appearance when he said my
Oh.
intention was to play for the New York Jets.
Hmm.
And I like dropped my phone and ran through my house.
That's amazing.
And I looked for my husband. I was like, Joey. I was like, I found him. I was like, Aaron Rodgers says he wants to play for the Jets.
Yeah.
And then he asked me, but did they trade for him? And I was like, well, not yet, but it's gonna happen. And he's like,
Yeah.
but is it gonna happen? And I was like, well, I don't know. Now I'm gonna doubt everything because
yeah, right.
right. Like, and then all of a sudden the doubt set in, and I was like, oh God. And then, but then when it actually happened, like it felt real. And then seeing, you know, those infamous Twitter images that got posted, like where it's just like, you know, this is not Photoshop. I was just like, okay, it's real. This is real. And I feel like I keep posting like the LeBron James meme of like, I can't believe this is my life, just smiling through it all. Like, because that's been me. Like I'm just smiling through it all. I can't believe this is real. I have no other words. I'm just so fucking happy. Like I hope, you know, and everybody talks a lot about like, oh, Brett Favre. Brett Favre didn't want to come here. No. Brett Favre was forced out and he was basically forced into playing here. He didn't want to be here and he tried to make the most out of a shitty situation and it didn't work out.
Basically,
and, you know, and I don't blame him. He didn't want to be here. And it is what it is. You know, he got hurt and it just, you know, it fizzled out. Aaron Rodgers wants to be here. He's still playing at a very high level. There's no reason that I shouldn't be so excited. This is the first time in my life that I have ever felt like the Jets can win a Super Bowl. This is the first time in my life, like I have always had playoff hopes, intentions. I've always, through the Rex Ryan years, through the Herm Edwards years, Chad Pennington, Curtis Martin, all yada, yada, whatever, always felt like, yeah, you know, we are playoff contenders. We're contenders. We could be we can make a run in the playoffs, you know, get in a wild card, win a couple of big games, you know, whatever, things go our way. That was always my mentality. And I feel like that was probably always your mentality too, most Jet fans, like in the positive years. But I never felt, no, this is a Super Bowl winning team. This team is going to win a Super Bowl. There was always but we need everything to go our way. But we need Tom Brady to get injured. But we need the refs to be our friends. But we need it to not snow. But like, it was always a but, right? There's no buts. There's no buts for me this year. It's like, for me, it's like, this is a Super Bowl team. This is a super, and I don't think I'm delusional. I don't think I'm delusional in saying that. And I really do truly believe that it is Super Bowl or bust. And I think that this season is a failure if we are not at least making it to the conference championship.
Yeah, I think this season's a failure if they're not at least winning the Super Bowl. Because that's it. It's winning the Super Bowl. People are like, well, yeah, make the playoffs as it happens.
If they make it to the AFC Championship game, like, and I don't mean to be negative, right? But let's say like they have a fucking hell of a season, they make it to the AFC Championship game, and it's a good ass game, and then like shit just happens at the end. The other team, who like maybe the Chiefs, just plays better and wins by like a field goal, or and the cookie just crumbles that way. And sometimes that happens. I wouldn't call the season a failure. I would just see it as like, damn, that sucks, but I know we're still a Super Bowl team, and I know Aaron Rodgers is going to be hungry for one more if his body feels good. And that's going to be my viewpoint, you know?
Yeah, I think no matter what happens, because I'm this optimistic glass half full guy, that in the moment I'll be like, son of a, but then I'll be able to rationalize whatever happens, because Aaron Rodgers has essentially committed to minimum 2 years and God knows how long, which again, my little peanut brain. Yeah, that has not been able to wrap around. He did. Yeah. He bought a house. That's
no
pretty
one
official.
buys a house if they're going to stay here for 1 year, Paul.
That's science. How can you deny that?
That's just adulting right there. In this real estate market, that was not an investment.
That's right.
Do we know what interest rates are at right now? Come on. That was not an investment. That was not. He's staying here. He's staying for a couple of years.
And I can't wait for that. And I'm ready for all of it. I'm only thinking about 2023, but all that future talk is exciting as well. And that they can potentially, like I said, win this whole thing. Erika, who's your favorite? I assume maybe it's Aussie, but do you have a favorite Jets player on the team? If so, who it is? Who is it?
Actively right now, I mean, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with man, I do love Sauce.
Sure. Yeah.
And it would be such a cop out to say Aaron Rodgers, but I do want to point
He's
out
up there.
but I want to point out that Aaron Rodgers was always my favorite non-Jets player.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
so knowing that, right?
Wow.
Like, I mean, it feels so bandwagon of me to say that, right? Because it feels like
I don't think so.
like I don't want it to be like, no, he's my number one, he's my favorite, but like if we leave out Aaron Rodgers, then I'm gonna have to probably go Sauce or Garrett.
That's fair. But again, like I think all of us that are in relationships, they're like, you can't cheat, but Aaron Rodgers, that's like a hall pass. I think that's all kind of accepted at the beginning. Yeah.
Always love the way he played. And I feel like, I mean, you could look up the old tweets. I feel like there's so many of just me professing my love for Aaron Rodgers when he played for the Packers and just basically crapping on Green Bay for how horribly they handled that. So, yeah. But
well, I just have to say, I can't wait for the season. The Buffalo Bills, my brain, again, still can't wrap around the old school jerseys. We'll see weeks 1 and 4. The games, all of them have sexy storylines. I'm just so fired up, and I'm ready for the Jets to take the world by storm. And I feel like that is fully everything on the table. And Erika, you got to take pictures, take videos, enjoy the season. It's being documented by Hard Knocks. We got another episode dropping this evening. So all of it together, it's just juicy. It's beautiful. And I appreciate you hopping on to talk all things Jets, Erika. This is amazing.
Absolutely. This was great. And thank you for having me. And I wanted to say too, before we go.
Of course.
We had talked about this before, but I did want to say for your viewers, for your watchers, I'm not sure how exactly you want to organize this, but I did want to present you with a gift of 2 Madden codes, one for Xbox, one for PlayStation, and one for yourself as well. Just for being a great friend and for being a king on Jets Twitter. But however you want to organize that, you organize that. But thank you for having me on.
Come on. And that's a beautiful mic drop. Did you just hear the words that came out of Erika's mouth? Her hole in her face, the mouth, the Madden words coming out. I mean, for Pete's sake. Did you hear that, people? We're going to be giving that puppy away. It's just be paying attention here to the social media portals. We'll also have it in the description of this YouTube video as well. You want to get in on the action. Madden coming up this week. Erika is hooking a brother or sister or both up potentially. There's 2 codes up for grabs. One of them selfishly for me. What a superstar. What a nice pat on the back for Paul. I had no idea that was even on the table, but gracias very much. Thank you very much. We'll take that with a warm embrace. But Erika, wow, that's an amazing gift to all the wonderful fans and viewers and listeners of the show. We're also listening to this on audio only. Beautiful, Erika. Thank you so much for the kind gesture, and that's amazing. Thank you.
Absolutely, anytime.
All right, there she is, Erika. Follow her at that friggin' handle if you're not already. So you can probably light her tweets and DMs up with, "Hey, Madden code," and she will reply, "Who dis? Who dis?" Those will be the responses to all of those messages. But feel free to send them either way. Yes,
I'll point them your way to try to win the code. How about that?
That's right. Good work. Good work, Erika. Thank you so much for hopping on. We appreciate it.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next time here on the show.